Welcome to another exciting David Pollack show. Tonight we're going to be talking about, everything that's going on. We have a longshoreman strike. We have a vice presidential debate coming up in just a day here. We have a tragedy in the Southeast, flooding. Kamala Harris is doing photo ops. Joe Biden's giving money to Ukraine, won't give any money to America. And Trump is actually getting stuff done. That, and of course, most importantly, we're previewing the very exciting Public Square Business Summit that we're all very excited to go to here in just a couple of weeks. And we have a very special guest to talk about that. And all of it is coming up right after this.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
We don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet. Wait a minute, I tell you. You ain't heard nothing.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore!
I'm mad as hell! I'm not gonna take it anymore!
I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore!
I'm mad as hell!
I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore!
Puppet!
David!
Plush pal. Are
What's
you ready
up,
for another
buddy?
show?
I am ready, bud. I am ready. And you know what? I'm mad as heck.
Are you?
And I'm not going to take it anymore.
Why are you mad?
I don't know.
Are you
Because have you seen what's going on? Have you taken a look?
What? I mean,
I know you have, because we're going to talk about it tonight
Yeah.
on the show. But
You know
it's
what I'm gonna
nuts.
do? Well, I'm going to do something today, Puppet. Puppet, you kick us off. What's going on, Puppet? What are we going to talk about today? Kick us off. Kick off the show. I'm going to sit here like the puppet tonight, right? I'm just going to, make the dummy faces, and you be me. Let's switch hats. Okay, you ready?
well, you got all the show notes. All right. So today we're going to talk about David starting the show late. Okay. It is 8:15. And this is what happens when you let a human do a puppet's job. It's also what happens. It's also, we see what happens in government when you let puppets do professionals' jobs.
Oh, that's it. It's hard, isn't it, Puppet? It's hard.
I was killing it, Dave.
You were killing me. You weren't killing it.
No, well, I was telling the truth to our viewers.
Yeah. So I said kick off the show, and you immediately just start calling me out for being late. I'm
Well-
sorry. I was late. I was in Washington, D.C.
He was getting his beauty sleep and his nails done. His little mani petty.
I have not had beauty sleep in a really long time. Went to Washington, D.C. It was a really cool event, or the Rescue the Republic event. It was an event of bringing patriots together. It was libertarians, Democrats, Republicans, no affiliated people. Some of the big speakers there, RFK Jr. was there, Russell Brand was there, Tulsi Gabbard was there speaking, Rob Schneider was emceeing. It was a lot of great. Brandon Straka was speaking there. Jack Posobiec. There was just a lot of really big names. Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson.
And what were you doing there?
Looking like you, like a dummy. So we went there. I was with Mario Nawfal and his team, and we were getting some interviews. We had a whole film crew out there, and the event was a lot of fun. You know, we got to hear a lot of messaging that gave us hope, and because this country's, as we've already talked about, it's going to hell in a handbasket. There's a lot of division. A lot of it's based on ambition and power and establishments, and obviously we
Yep.
love Trump because he's the anti-establishment candidate. He's trying to break this cycle, and they're fighting him. And it's so good to hear Democrats, Republicans, former Democrats, independents, all saying that we don't have to agree on policy. I don't agree on Trump with policy. That was a consistent, like, but I'm supporting Trump because he's going to save America. He's going to stick to the Constitution. He's going to prevent the weaponization of justice and lawfare and with the lockdowns and mandates. And so there was a lot of positivity. Plus, one of the really interesting things, and we got to do a whole show on this, Puppet, eventually.
We do.
On health. Because one of the big angles was health, because they were talking about how we're being poisoned by big ag. And they put things in our food here in the United States that they don't put anywhere else. And Americans are sick as a result of it. And that's a big thing for RFK Jr. And
I was listening to RFK Jr. speak on a video, something, and he was talking about him being diagnosed with a gluten allergy, right? And he said that a lot of Americans have a gluten sensitivity or gluten allergy. And he said, in fact, what he came to realize was it isn't actually the gluten that's the problem. It's the pesticides we spray on the gluten, on the wheat, that then creates the gluten sensitivity. And he started buying all of his wheat from Italy, and he never has had a gluten allergy after that.
Well, you hear from all these people. Now I'm getting tangential.
I know.
But you hear from all these people. I'm still doing better than you. You hear from all these people. They go to Europe and they eat pasta and bread and Nutella and
I did that.
And then they're like, it's weird.
I felt fine.
And I feel great. I come to the United States and I eat a croissant from Dunkin' Donuts and I feel like I got to take a nap. So it's really interesting, all that came out of the weekend. So yes, but I'm exhausted. I came back very early this morning. It was a very long day yesterday. So I apologize to this audience and to you, Puppet, and to our guests that are
I'm just joshing with you, Dave.
Well, no, but now let me show you how to kick off a show, Puppet. Puppet, exciting things are happening.
It is.
Country right now. Now, tomorrow we have a big debate. Big debate. You have Tim Walz, to the window, to the walls. And we have JD Vance, of course. Now, I think JD Vance is going to wipe the floor with that communist.
I cannot imagine he doesn't wipe the floor with him. JD Vance is just great on his feet. He's very knowledgeable about the topics, the points, the important points that are on the minds of Americans. And he's very good at putting words together, unlike
you.
Well, I am a puppet, but unlike Kamala, who doesn't have an excuse. Now, Tim, I haven't heard much from Tim, so I really can't say how well he does.
He lifts his leg and he adjusts.
Yeah, he does. He's like
really weird.
Totally weird. I mean, and he is a communist, and his ideas and his policies and his record are ridiculously.
We'll get into that later. Puppet.
Nuts.
Don't go too far.
I'm not going into it, but I'm just saying.
We're just setting it up.
Okay.
Sorry, talk about it later. You're giving me your whole dissertation. We don't need that.
Sorry.
All right. So we're also going to
try to make up for lost time,
Well, we don't have lost time. We're making up for time wasted at this point because I was late because I already anyway. Also, there was a hurricane over the weekend. I don't know if anybody noticed or not.
It's hard to notice here, honestly, where we are, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't really even get rain.
It was windy, and I'm going to talk about that when we talk about it. But there's tragedy, and I said the big story out of this hurricane is not going to be the wind; it's going to be the flooding in the southeast because they're not equipped. And of course, you're not hearing anything from the media about it. It's almost like they're ignoring it because of the failure of Joe Biden and Kamala. We're going to talk about that later. I have some interesting clips on that too. And of course, Lebanon.
Man, what happened to all that infrastructure money?
I don't know. Nancy Pelosi's Botox. So we also have a buildup. Israel has started a ground invasion reportedly into Lebanon now. There's tanks building up on the border. The leader of Hezbollah was killed. There is a lot. We'll talk about that too. A lot has happened in the last couple of days, guys. And of course, now the longshoremen are striking. And so if you thought we had food issues with inflation before, wait a week. Things are about to get bad. So we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Very bad.
Before we talk
intro
about the
says.
bad dad, which is why you were mad as hell and you're not going to take it anymore.
That's
Puppet.
right.
See, that's what you do. You see what I did? Do you see how I set it all up, Puppet? So next time I do
No,
that.
That's
You
what
gotta-
I did. I
No,
set
no,
it
you
up.
did it all. No, you didn't set it up.
I did that. That's what I did.
You didn't do it. So, but before we get into all the, the sad, scary stuff, I want to talk about something I'm really excited about because it's not just problems, it's solutions. And we've been talking about Public Square's Business Summit here in Orlando on October 10th and 11th.
Yes.
For a couple of weeks now. And we had Michael Seifert on the show, a CEO of that wonderful company. And when he was here, we talked about this idea of a parallel economy. We have an economy of businesses that hate us. They hate our values. They work against us with the money we give them. And now we have a company that are connecting people with businesses that are conservative owned, that support our causes, and we can spend our money with people who don't hate us. And I love that this platform is giving this. And not only do we have a place, and if you guys don't go to publicsquare.com, you need to be going to publicsquare.com. You can find even doctors on there that will treat you that are conservative. Like, it's a really cool platform. Check it out if you haven't done it already, but you better have done it because if you watch this show, I've sent you to like 7 times. The other thing is now they're doing this business summit, bringing conservatives and other it's not just conservatives, like-minded people together in Orlando, in Florida. And they're going to be having all kinds of great speakers. And I'm going to let Matt here in a minute come on and talk about exactly who's coming. I'll let him break the news because some big speakers were just announced. And they're also going to have other small breakout type things, like pitch competitions and just things to teach people, conservatives, not only networking skills, but how to be better doing business so we can compete against these people who hate us. So I'm really excited about this summit. I'm going to be there. You're going to be there. Everybody I'm about to bring up on this stage is going to be there. And so I'm really excited about it. But let's not hear from me. Let's bring in our guest. What do you say, Puppet?
I'm excited. Let's bring him in.
Eventually, I think I want guest intro music. I think when we redo the show a little bit, when we bring in guests, they should have music. Right? Yeah, like walk-up music. Let's see if I have anything on my board.
Yeah, I might have some music here.
You want to do that? You want me to do that? All right, let's do that. All right, I'm going to put music up. All right. Without further ado, we're going to bring in my new good friend, Matt Smith from Public Square. I'm going to give you music, Matt. Ready? Here he is. Matt Smith from Public Square. Welcome to the Dave Pollak Show.
I didn't hear any music.
I was waiting for Wild Thing or something to start playing, but
didn't hear my music.
Yeah, you didn't hear my music?
No, I didn't hear your music.
Really? Oh no!
Did you hear it, Matt?
It towards the end it started, but it was more like smooth jazz, not like real walkout music.
Yeah, I just solved the big problem, Puppet.
Oh yeah.
And, I don't know.
Is it that you don't know how to use the board?
No, my soundboard. I was talking through my microphone on my computer.
I think you've been doing this for weeks, bro.
Yeah.
I keep telling you your mic sounds weird.
Yeah, and also none of the intro music was going out. I don't know if any of this audio was going out onto the show.
Which audio?
The whole show's audio.
Well, you talking would be going through the computer, but not your good audio.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Matt,
Matt, and I'm the puppet.
Uh-huh.
And I'm the dummy. Right.
Goodness.
Right.
Well, Matt, we were the wheels are coming off, but we're putting it back together. And so now the microphone. See, now I sound better, don't I?
Yes,
now
you sound so much better, bro.
God,
I have been telling you for weeks that your mic just doesn't sound that good.
Well, when you told me you didn't hear the music, I knew something was up. So anyway, Matt, let's
the people in the space know what I'm talking about. My space homies know what I'm talking about.
Let's talk about this business summit because look, I'm really excited about it. Since it was announced, I was excited about it because it literally since I met Michael Seifert back, it was probably a year and a half ago. And I heard about Public Square and what Public Square was doing. I said, this is the greatest thing because it was right when Target was doing the tuck bathing suits for kids and things. And I said, and
you bought one of those, didn't you, Dave?
2 of them actually.
They're very
nice, Matthew. Nice.
Well, so
I bought one to tuck my nose in. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the profile of I can't say it on TV.
You look anyway. So so I got really excited when Public Square came out because I'm like, oh my God, I had this idea a long time ago that I was like, wouldn't it be great if before I went into a business, somebody would say, don't go there, they hate you. And then I learned about Public Square, and I'm like, oh, somebody did that. And so Public Square tells you the businesses that support conservatives, right? Give us a quick breakdown of, I mean, I know my audience heard it, but they need to hear it again, how Public Square is shaking up the market and how it benefits people who don't want to do business with people who hate them. And then I want to talk about the Business Summit.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I actually went through the onboarding process as a small business owner before joining the team at Public Square, and they really do go through a thorough onboarding process to where they check a company's social media. They make sure that that this business stands for important values that align with Public Square's values and with patriotic Americans. Essentially, they just want to make sure, like you said earlier, that these businesses don't hate you, and that you can do business with a service provider, with a brand on a marketplace, and that they're not overly preachy. They are just going to treat you with respect, treat you with kindness, and ship you a product and thank you for your business. It's incredibly simple, but yet the other businesses that will go unnamed fail to do that. And Public Square is just it's an honor to be on the team, but more importantly, it's so enjoyable to do business with brands that actually appreciate you. About a week ago, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago, one of our brands on the marketplace called We're the Worst. It's a great name for a bratwurst, a sausage company.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Isn't that a great name?
Yes.
Puppet, you'd like him.
Puppet is the worst. Mm-hmm. A puppet is the worst.
And within 24 hours, they had confirmed my order. They had sent me a handwritten thank you note. And the product was absolutely incredible. The CEO's name is Matthew Fiddler. I mean, that's just one example of thousands of people on our platform. And it's so rewarding as a consumer to do business with values aligned, hardworking, small businesses. It's much different than any other experience that you're going to get by clicking on a computer and buying from somewhere else.
I have a suggestion for Mr. Fiddler. He should do a cooking show and call it Fiddler on the Worst.
That was actually.
There's a reason why.
I was going to give you a hard time. That was pretty good.
Right? Fiddler on the Worst.
Come on. There's a reason why I do the comedy on the show.
Oh, come on. That'd be a great show.
Come on.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt.
David is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But then that is what's so great about your platform, is that you're connecting conservatives with people who don't hate them. But it's not just, and this is what I talked about with Michael too, it's not just businesses, doctors, dentists, family, because everybody remembers during COVID, you go and you had COVID and you're like, hey, I wonder if I can get some alternative treatments other than a vaccine that was going to kill me. And the certain doctors, you'd go in, they'd make you wear 2 masks. They'd be wearing 7 masks. They wouldn't touch you. And they would say, and if you were unvaccinated, they wouldn't even see you. And you would ask for, hey, can I try some of this hydroxychloroquine? Can I try some of this antibiotics that other people are taking that are working? And the doctors would be like, I'm not going to see you in my practice if you ask me for that again. Wouldn't it be nice if you can go to a platform and find out what doctors agree with you? The dentist I go to, conservative dentist, and Public Square guides you to those people, right?
Yes, they do. And that's what you just talked about. That was actually the DNA, the fabric of Public Square, is finding those service providers that could actually deliver a high quality service without, like you said, checking your vaccine card or making sure you had a mask. They're just, are you a values aligned dentist that doesn't care about all the other stuff that the woke DEI loving media, is going to shove down your throat? And that is the beginning of the evolution of Public Square. And then we became, a marketplace. And we've evolved even further from there, offering now payment solutions and a cancel-proof ecosystem so that these businesses that are going to come to the summit can actually do business and stand for their values in an authentic and a genuine way, and know that this ecosystem that we're building can actually protect them, and not only protect them, but they can thrive.
Yeah. And now, of course, we have the summit. Now, let me play the commercial, and that'll set it up, because I have it here, and it's a great commercial. And this will set up the summit.
Dollars of GDP voted in alignment with conservative values in the 2020 election. We believe there are over 100 million of these Americans that love their country. They love their freedoms. They're faith-driven. They hold fast to the classic American principles that have built the greatest country in the world. And they have spending power. But they've been abused by corporate America that would rather cater to a few coastal cities. The people are awake. Consumers are aware of what's going on in our country. We want to create an economic environment that is powered by liberty. Over the last few years, we have worked day and night to provide an opportunity for small businesses that love our country and our Constitution, an opportunity to connect with millions of consumers that will appreciate these businesses because of the quality of their products and the values at the helm. If you are a business owner, an economic professional, a retiree, an investor, or simply have a vested interest in the future of the American economy, you will not want to miss out on the inaugural Public Square Business Summit taking place October 10th and 11th in Orlando, Florida. We are going to hear from incredible world-class speakers like Tony Robbins, Donald Trump Jr., Robert Kennedy Jr., Pat Lencioni, and more. This will be an event unlike the United States has ever seen, and there's not a better time for it. Join us in Orlando, Florida at the Public Square Business Summit, October 10th and 11th.
I like the intensity, Mike.
Are you not fired up right now? I mean, I turned the volume up while I was listening to that.
Yeah, he built his even his delivery as he got to. This is going to be the biggest thing since. It was fantastic. I loved it, and I'm excited. I mean, I really legitimately am excited. And you have some other.
I'm super fired up. I'm more fired up than David's suit pants when he walks really fast through an airport. Oh, you know, when his thighs rub together. You know, it gets really. Never mind.
Puppet. These are facts, though.
This is a fact. I know.
Terminal C. I'm trying to do business here, Puppet. Terminal C in the Orlando airport, the new international. They make you walk 7 miles.
Yeah.
Man, have you been to the Orlando airport, the new terminal? You literally walk 17 miles from the place you park your car to the place, and there's no like trains. You just walk. There's literally one room that looks like the waiting room to either go to heaven or hell. And it's in between. You walk through it for what seems like 17 hours, and there's just lights and uneven floors, and you're walking and walking and walking and walking. Anyway,
it's like a campfire in your pants to just start a fire there.
Literally. So I'm really excited about the summit. It's going to be fantastic.
Your pants are too tight. You wear those girl pants that are too tight.
You're just jealous because you have a manhole and you can't even wear pants. So I'm really excited about the summit. Because the speakers, now you've announced some new speakers, right?
Obviously I think Robert Kennedy Jr. was covered in there, but Puppet Carlson obviously will be there. But more importantly, Tucker Carlson and Russell Brand added to that list, plus Robbie Starbuck.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Killing it. Go ahead, Puppet.
Let's say that again, Matthew. I think that was big news you just dropped there.
Which one?
Like those people that were added. You said you added some people.
Yeah, I'll just go from the top. So Tucker Carlson, Robert Kennedy Jr., Russell Brand, Donald Trump Jr., Robbie Starbuck, and Puppet Carlson.
Yes.
Yeah. We have to make sure that Tucker and Puppet meet. Like we have
to do that. Yes.
That has to happen because I don't know. Now, Tucker knows about Puppet, by the way.
I know that.
I've heard of this. Yes.
I have spoken to Tucker about Puppet. It literally showed him the video. I think he was a mixture of amused and freaked out. So we'll have to see what the in-person reaction is going to be. But I think it's going to go well. I don't know. But I'm really excited. You've already had such an amazing lineup, and now you've added. I mean, I can't think of any bigger names right now. And Russell Brand, by the way, I met him over the weekend. What a tremendous human being. His energy is intoxicating. I mean, and when he starts getting going, he's awesome. He's really good. The audience is really in for a treat. Now, we have something special for them, right, Matt? Because if they're watching this show right now and you guys want to go. Now, tickets for a 2-day event, by the way, for general admission to go see Tucker Carlson, Don Jr., Russell Brand, and all these names that you just heard, right? Tickets for general admission are like $200 for 2 days. Those haven't
for one night.
For both nights.
No, I'm saying typically for one night.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're
typically even $1,000.
That's what I'm saying.
More.
If you want to go see Tucker Carlson, Don Jr., Russell Brand, RFK Jr., Puppet Carlson. I don't know why you'd want to see him, but if you wanted to.
But you do. You know you want to.
I know. You haunt their dreams, and it's almost Halloween. They don't need to see you. But if you want to do that, $200 is cheap. But we're going to do something even better on this show right now for you. If you want to go to the event, and I think we'll probably leave this active, for maybe an hour or two, just for this show. If you're watching, for those of you who are a little behind because I was late, if you use Pollock 50, now you have to spell it right, POLLACK 50, you're going to get that 2-day ticket for $50, right? $50? $50 to go see Tucker Carlson, Don Jr., Russell Brand, RFK Jr., go on and on and on for $50. So you guys, if you're watching the show and you haven't bought your tickets yet to the summit, shame on you. But do it right now during the show. You guys listening on Spaces, you guys listening on all the different platforms, go to Public Square. Do you want them to go to the parallel? Which website would be the easiest for them to go to? You can get it from publicsquare.com or the event website.
Yeah, psqtickets.com is a really easy one.
That's a good one.
psqtickets.com.
Unlike David's promo code, you can actually get there. PSQ tickets. We should have a puppet code, puppet 50. Then people could spell it. They could get there. Plus, I would think I would bring way more tickets in than Pollock, which nobody cares about or can't spell. Nobody, why don't we make it supercalifragilisticexpialidocious 50?
So Puppet, I'm going to talk to your audience here for a second because this is really important.
I agree.
So if you guys are in anywhere near Orlando, Florida, and if you're not thinking of attending this event, you need to recheck your priorities. The media is already calling this the anti-Davos summit. How cool is that?
I love that.
Thank you for the free press.
Yes.
The anti-Davos summit. Like that actually, to me, is almost cooler than all the headlines.
I agree.
Welcome to the resistance, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the resistance. The water's warm. Come in.
The American Economic Forum, right?
You're gonna be surrounded by patriots, courageous business owners, hardworking individuals that are authentic and genuine. And you're not only going to come to this event and hear these incredible speakers, but if you're a small to medium-sized business owner, or if you, like Michael said in the video, if you're an investor, if you have any vested interest in the future of America or the American economy, if you're a retiree living on a fixed income, you will leave this event with tools, skills, networking, new relationships that you did not have before this weekend. I mean, the working for a company like Public Square is something like being at an event like this, being surrounded around like-minded people. You can't explain it until you experience it. Like David, you're exhausted, but coming back from that event with all these people that just had American excellence on their heart and in their minds, how good do you feel right now? And that's what it's like working at Public Square. And that's what it's like being part of the team. And that's what it's going to be like being at this summit. Stop what you're doing, buy a ticket. You will thank me. And I'm genuine about that. This isn't a sales pitch. You are going to have so much fun, and you're going to leave that summit with everything going on that we're going to talk about today. All of the nonsense in this country, all of the stress, 2025, regardless of who wins, is going to be a tough year. So you want to leave this event feeling like you have the tool belt in your life to actually be a better operator and to have a better network. And I couldn't think of a better place or a better way to spend 2 days than being at Public Square's Small Business Summit. We'll see you there.
Yeah. And listen, I completely 1000% echo what you're saying because, and I really like that it's an inaugural event. And I don't think people realize. So, look, I've been to a lot of events. I've been to CPACs. I've been to smaller events like WalkaCons, like Brandon Strock's Walkaway's first political event. The inaugural events are the best ones because it's before you get really, like you said, not only you're getting like-minded conservatives, but you're getting people in an event before it's the biggest thing in the whole. I mean, you already have a lineup of it is the biggest event, but it's inaugural. So people are still figuring it out, right? So you have an opportunity this year to probably get a lot more personal with some of these biggest names in our movement because it's the inaugural event. I mean, this is a real opportunity to really at the ground level to experience one of these events before you can even, the tickets are $1,000 next year. Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, and David Puppet, before you say something that's ridiculous,
Thank you. Because nothing that comes out of his mouth isn't ridiculous.
I'm sorry, Puppet, that was mean.
No, you're right. You are correct.
But that was the last point about the summit that I forgot is we have limited capacity to 2,500 people. You're not going to see these speakers in a venue with less than 2,500 people. I don't think that's going to happen. So, I mean,
that's like a restaurant.
We are offering that to you at Public Square's inaugural Small Business Summit. And that's a point I completely overlooked.
Wow.
But I think when you see people in more intimate venues, it completely changes the experience. And we're going to be offering that.
I didn't know that. And that's incredible. I don't think 2,500 people, guys, that's like a Cheesecake Factory. Like that is a small, I mean, that is really what an opportunity. Tucker is right now in arenas right now. Moms for America is doing these great events, sponsoring these great events where Tucker's speaking with all these different speakers. It was, and actually our panelist, Allie, is going to come on in a minute. She got me John Jr. in the Jacksonville event. These are arenas. You can go to Orlando in Florida for 2 days for cheap if you use Pollock 50, P-O-L-A-C-K 50, not Puppet. Puppet makes you spend double. If you use the promo code Puppet, you have to spend double. But if you use Pollock 50, you're getting a ticket for $50. Less than 2,500 people at the event. Some of the biggest names in our movement. Dude, that is amazing.
I do want to say something here that's not just snarky and ridiculous or put down on David.
That sounds smart. It ruins everything, but go ahead.
If you are a business owner.
Wait, we need music. Go ahead. Hold on.
Yes, all the political big heavy hitters are here, and you might have a chance to hobnob because this is an inaugural event and there's not that many tickets being sold. But Patrick Lencioni is going to be there. He is one of the smartest, one of the best business mentors, speakers. If you run a small business and you don't know who Pat Lencioni is, you don't know his books, you haven't followed his advice, you are missing out it big way. And he's going to be there on the stage, and you have an opportunity to see him. You don't want to miss it if you're a business owner.
Wow.
That's period.
You know what makes me really sad, Puppet, is because that was really good. I don't know if Pat's joining us. I think he actually dropped out. So what you just nailed, which was really well done. Let's just focus on that. You did a great job.
You know what? Send this to him and make him feel bad.
That's a shame because
you send this to him and make him feel bad.
He is great. And if you are a business owner, you definitely want to see him, regardless of him to be here or not. And you know what I loved about him being on the card is that it's in alignment with the work that you guys do.
It's true.
It is. It is. And I mean, it's an incredible event. The lineup is there. You will be a better operator. I mean, and the list that we've focused on, there's still so there. You're going to see Michael Sieper, CEO of Public Square.
Yes. So forget about my promo code. It's off the table. Forget it. Done. Out. Go to Pollock because
Hey, Puppet, is there any other people that are not going to be in attendance that you want to pitch?
Well,
Oh Lord.
Yeah, Puppet's also bringing Optimus Prime, so let's see how that goes.
Listen, Lencioni might not be there, but Puppet Carlson will be there, and I will dump truth bombs of business building insight on anybody who comes and talks to me at the bar.
That's it. He's gonna be like, business owners, do you have people up your manhole?
No, I'm going to be like, hey,
do you want to make more money? Well, stretching your manhole, go to puppetcarlson.com. And
see, he's always about the manhole. He just loves it so much. He can't keep his mind off of it. He just is.
Well, speaking of business, let's do some. I'm going to take a quick break, pay some bills. And when we get back, we're going to go around the panel and talk about the news because the world's falling apart. The best place to be waiting it out is going to be at the Public Square Business Summit because you can be around all the people that can solve all these problems. So
I'm going to be there.
We know you're going to be there, Puppet.
Thanks, Puppet.
Yeah. All right. We're going to a commercial. I'll be right back, everybody. Don't go anywhere.
environment, it's never been more important to secure your hard-earned wealth for you and your family's future. FinSec Life works to offer industry-leading customer service to help successful individuals and businesses protect their wealth. Whether it's a business succession plan, estate liquidity, or a variety of life and long-term care policies, FinSec Life can help deliver peace of mind, knowing that if something happens, you or your company is taken care of. Visit finseclife.com. That's FINSEC life.com. Securities offered through Valmark Security Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Valmark Advisors Inc., an SEC-registered investment advisor. FinSec Life is a separate entity from Valmark Securities Inc. and Valmark Advisors Inc.
Business owners, are you sick of dealing with those big-name telecommunications companies that leave you frustrated with terrible customer service and then lock you into long-term contracts? That's why I want to introduce you to my friends over at Public Telephone Company. They are an industry-leading VoIP provider offering all-in-one business communication solutions that are completely contract-free with competitive pricing. But perhaps the best part, they're all about supporting their customers with US-based customer service, and they're always willing to go the extra mile. Don't let your phone company drive you mad. Call Public Telephone Company today at 877-314-4080 or visit them at publictelephonecompany.com. That's publictelephonecompany.com.
Welcome to Raised Right Books, where each tale unfolds with gentle conservative lessons. These stories come alive with hand-drawn illustrations and playful rhymes. If you've been looking for ways to teach your little patriots valuable life lessons, look no further. Discover these delightful stories at raisedrightbooks.org.
All right, Puppet. We're back.
I was reading a Patrick Lencioni book when you came back from break. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the only way you're going to hear him. So,
yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the only way. Well, maybe you can buy audiobooks on Public Square.
Probably. It's Marketplace now. So, welcome back. Somehow we're still going.
Yeah.
There's actually, Puppet, I'm debating on whether I want to talk about this or not, because we have some big news that we'll wait. There's some big news coming to the David Pollack Show.
Yes.
We partnered up with somebody fantastic that will actually be at the summit. And we're going to be doing a press release soon and giving you guys all the details. But some big news is coming. I'm really excited about it. And the reason why I was thinking about it, I was watching my commercial. I'm like, we need to redo those commercials because we're redoing our everything. New show open is coming out. New music is coming. The show is getting revamped and re-energized. And it's still going to have a puppet, unfortunately. But it's coming soon. So stay tuned for that. Guys,
or
don't forget
David Pollack. It's still going to have a Pollack.
I'll be there. Don't forget promo code Pollack 50. $50 tickets for the rest of this show and for the next hour.
PSQ is a PSQ?
Yeah. Or you go to
PSQtickets.com.
PSQtickets.com.
And if you go to Public Square, though, there is right at the top. So if you can't find it, go to Public Square and you'll see it at the top in the banner. There's plenty of places to get to it. And we'll provide a link as well. So we'll make it easy for everybody to find it. But guys, $50 tickets for 2 days for this event. 2,500 people, some of the biggest names in politics, plus an annoying puppet. It's going to be epic. I'm going to be there. And actually, I'll introduce Allie to because it's the panel time. And this is part of the show, Matt, and I told you about where we bring in a panel. We have a smaller panel tonight because one of our other panelists is still not feeling great, but we are hoping she feels better. Prayers are going out to her. But we'll bring in Miss Allie Leger.
Hi, guys.
Her name is Allie Legg. I call her Allie Leger because it sounds fancy.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hi, Matthew. How are you?
I'm well, Allie. How are you?
Great.
Hi, Allie.
Are you enjoying all the manhole talk? It gets kind of irritating after a while.
Oh, that's David. I know.
Wow.
Oh,
you just come on my show, and the very first thing you do is say I'm irritating?
No, it's like the manhole. It's like all you talk about. It's supposed to be a family show.
I know.
I was snarky, and you talk about manholes. Come on.
He loves it. He just can't. He just
what? There's
nothing. There's a reason you never see both of David's arms in the whole show. There's a reason. Well, that was that's just because I'm mentioning it.
Puppet, You're just jealous because I can move my own arms. And Allie,
yeah, I can move mine.
The manhole is not something unfamily friendly. It's literally how the puppet is operated.
Okay.
It's just I mean, other than Geppetto,
definitely not the way you two talk about it. Just saying. All the adults can read between the lines. Mr. Smith gets it.
no. What it is your mind is in the wrong place. And when you okay, Allie, what do you call those things on the street?
Okay,
we're not going to go there. Let's continue. All right. Hi, everybody.
What do you
Welcome
call
to the David Pollack Show.
What do you call those?
Carlson, and the guests, Matthew Smith and myself, Allie Lachey. Thanks for joining tonight.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Allie. She took control.
Yeah,
she's good. She's good.
When I gave Puppet that opportunity, he didn't do nearly as good as she just did. Just putting that out.
Puppet.
We're gonna have this conversation later. So, here's the way it works. I don't.
That's a Pollock hole on the ground.
So all right,
Matthew. I don't know if you're going to want to come back. I don't know.
He's not going to want us at the.
Fortunately, I was warned, but I'm just
oh boy.
The CEO of Public Square himself said, "You're gonna
watch out for that.
Watch out for that show. You're doing that show. You're doing the David Pollack Show with the puppet. Really? Okay. Good luck.
I don't need to laugh though, so it's good.
I don't know why you're watching the show then if you want to do that. So, there was a hurricane.
Yeah.
And I want to time travel real quick. Do you guys like time travel? Do you know? All right, we're gonna time travel quick. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give. And just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible. I mean, Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
In the past few days.
You guys remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
You remember? That was
poor Kanye.
This was Hurricane Katrina. There was flooding in Louisiana.
Has he always been crazy?
Yeah, basically. But he makes good music and some nice shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what do you?
I loved Mike Myers in that piece. That was great.
Yeah,
like the way he looked at Kanye every time he said something sideways. I was trying not to laugh.
Well, there's a couple of deviations I'm going to take for a second.
We should have been like, "Yeah, baby."
So there's a couple of things I want to point out. One, this was back to the George Bush days. This is for the viewers who maybe have never seen that clip before. Mm-hmm. This was during the George Bush presidency. It was you had a Hurricane Katrina flooded Louisiana. The levees failed, which we all knew they would since the 1960s. The levees failed. People were losing their homes. People were dying. It was a mess. And the governor of Louisiana at the time was interfering, whether it be negligent or what, with actually aid getting into the state. It was all lined up outside of the state, but the media decided they were going to blame George Bush for the flooding in Louisiana and for the lack of
aid issues.
Yes. And so it was it was on the fake news 24 hours a day. But I want to go back in time here. And the reason why Do you see how Mike Myers was uncomfortable with him saying George Bush didn't like black people or whatever? Nowadays, you can't find somebody in Hollywood who's not excited to talk trash about Donald Trump. Like, that was even the good old days where people who didn't like George Bush were still uncomfortable with Kanye saying stuff like that. That rhetoric right now is PG compared to the rhetoric we see. So I just want to point that out. But two, and I want to get you guys.
That would be the mainstream media being Kanye.
Right. That's objective news in 2024. Good point, Puppet. But the other thing is, and I want to ask you guys, and I'm going to go to you first, Matt. You're our special guest. Why isn't the media talking about all of the people in the southeastern part of the United States, from Virginia to Florida, that are still dealing with massive flooding? Where's the media? Where's Kanye?
Well, it doesn't fit their narrative. I mean, look at Maui. I mean, very recent. Let's not go all the way back to Katrina. Let's talk about how they handled Maui. Would they each one of the Maui residents was given $1,500? And now I think they're saying that every resident will get $750 per family. And talking to the people that don't have internet and the ability to get online, that they can fill out an application for more aid, while we send this week alone, I actually looked this up before, $2.4 billion to our little buddy Zelensky, $8.4 billion to Israel, and $567 million to Taiwan. So while we do that, our citizens of the greatest country in the world are literally underwater. I talked to 3 people today that had conversations because they're involved in the rescue efforts. I live in Tennessee. Fortunately, we were fine. I live close to Nashville, but I mean, in Eastern Tennessee and North Carolina, 3 people today that literally didn't know where a significant other is currently. I mean, so why the media isn't covering it? It's because it doesn't fit their narrative. It's too close to the election. And also, once they actually get to these areas, because they can't even get to these areas. That's how bad it is right now. Once they actually get to these areas, they're going to see families and people actually working together and solving problems, which, you listen to the media and they love to tell us how much we hate each other, how black people hate white people, how we hate trans people, how we hate gay people, how everyone hates each other. But when you actually get into the real parts of this country and have real conversations, or if you go to ground zero for a catastrophe like this, you're going to see the greatest signs of humanity. And that doesn't fit the media's narrative. That's my opinion. That's why I think they're not covering it.
Wow. Yeah. So many, that also reminds me of the first assassination attempt of Donald Trump, when shots were firing, when Donald Trump points this out all the time, rather than like panic and and trample people, they were calm, they were orderly, they were helping each other out, they were calling for aid while shots were still firing.
Exactly.
They're pointing out the shooter.
Exactly. That is what the media doesn't want to show. I think you make an excellent point. Before I go to your take, Ali, I want to show a news report on this storm for some people, because they're not going to see this anywhere else, unfortunately, because the news isn't talking about it. They talked about it 24 hours a day before it made landfall, because they wanted to freak everybody out and get their ratings in. And then the aftermath of it, of course, they don't want to talk about it now because it makes Kamala Harris look incompetent. And I'm going to show you some videos of that. But let me do the news story, because I really want the audience to connect with the emotion of what's happening, because as Matt described, it is very, very serious. And this was the first time I've seen some of these images. Check it out.
Tonight, an unfolding catastrophe in Asheville, North Carolina. Homes and buildings swept away by raging floodwaters that have submerged the town.
It's beyond anything I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Parts of the town not underwater, completely cut off.
Somebody on a Facebook post said something about having to fly out of Asheville because you can't drive out of Asheville.
That extreme?
Yeah.
With no power and no cell service, crowds formed outside this hotel, one of the only places in town with working Wi-Fi.
We've been just trying to get on as much as we can and either get an email or a text out and just let everybody know that we're okay.
We met up with Cindy Tran, her forever home, a self-described oasis, ravaged by the cresting French Broad River nearby.
The water came up so quick, halfway up to the second floor. We thought the way it just kept rising so fast, it was going to get to the second floor, so we had to get out.
A similar scene in the town of Chimney Rock, virtually wiped off the map by floodwaters.
Chimney Rock's gone. Flying Bridge is gone.
Meanwhile, the heavy rains triggering a massive mudslide that washed out this stretch of I-40, a major highway connecting western and eastern parts of the state. One bit of good news, 2 dams that were in danger of collapse, the Nolichucky and Lake Lure dams, now appear to be okay as water levels slowly recede. Helene's flooding rains bringing devastation to Tennessee as well. In Irwin, the scene of this dramatic rescue. Patients and staff rushing to the roof as floodwaters engulf the Unicoi County Hospital. Boats and helicopters converging to quickly get them to safety.
I was very concerned that we was going to lose the hospital.
In South Carolina, crews dug this tree off a car. Strong winds leaving more than 1 million people there without power. Back in Asheville, residents resorting to kayaks to get around flooded streets as they figure out how to move forward.
Are you okay?
I will be. I'm every now and then. I was fine yesterday, believe it or not, but now, like today, things have been settling in and I just can't stop crying.
Although the water has started to recede, the damage is already done. And with more potential rain in the forecast, people here just don't know how much more they can.
So, Allie, does Kamala Harris not care about white people?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She abandoned our troops during Afghanistan withdrawal. She abandoned the people of everybody that's affected by this hurricane. They abandoned Lanaya, right, of Hawaii, the Hawaiians during their fires. She abandoned the people of East Palestine, Ohio, with the toxic train derailment. She abandoned states impacted by the border crisis. A biolab in Georgia is burning out of control, and she's nowhere to be found. Verizon Wireless is down, and millions are out of service, right? And the East Coast dock workers are about to strike tomorrow. She's nowhere to be found. So, of course, she hates Americans. It's not just she hates white people. She hates Americans. And not to mention that this regime really only cares about Ukrainians over Americans, illegals over Americans, and criminals over Americans. And not to mention, FEMA has implemented their equity policies. So this is equity. We're seeing it play out right now. Equity kills. This is absolutely disgusting. But what I will say is that hardships will, when you see hardships will show the true hearts of men. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Not only do we have governors from especially from our state going to these states that are ravished and devastated by this hurricane, we have congressmen that are also doing the same thing. We have regular everyday people that are like celebrities on X, right? These influencers that are putting up Starlink, right, in these places that don't have access to internet.
Nick Sorter was out there.
Right, and Robbie Starbuck.
Who's going to be at Public Square.
Right. Yeah. This is the American spirit at work right now. So everybody that is paying attention to legacy media, don't listen to them when they tell you, like Matthew said, that everyone hates each other. That's not true. It's not true. The American spirit is alive and well. And when we face catastrophic situations, we all come together and link arms and we save each other. There's no one coming to save us. And we need to stop depending on government and depend on each other.
No, this is what government does. Now, let me show you.
I should be a speaker at your next event.
Yeah, you nailed it. You want to keep going? That was great.
Don't listen. Her ego is getting out of control lately because she's doing 3 different shows. She has Homefront. She has Mom View. She has Open Mic. She's been going around the country speaking. She's going to be in some movie soon.
We're doing walkathons. We have we're going to knock 4 million doors. We're going to try and knock 4 million doors by the end of October. Yeah.
See my point? Do you see my point? So
I'm her opening act. So I speak and then Allie speaks. That's how it works. Right, Allie?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because after you, anybody sounds great. So, but this is why. But yes, she's very good. And that's why we like having her as a panelist. But don't.
Thank you, David.
Okay.
I appreciate your backhanded compliment. I appreciate that.
He's good at those.
It's because I'm black. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Look, I have a couple of clips. Speaking of black people, here's Kamala Harris pretending like she's going to do something. Check it out. There's no audio in the clip for some reason. She was en route to, she said she's going? She's en route to go have a meeting.
Yeah, in DC.
Yeah, in Washington, D.C. with FEMA.
So that was from San Francisco where she was raising money.
Right, where she was raising money. So she got on an airplane.
Campaigning.
Where there was a staged photo. I wanted to get that photo, but I forgot to get it. Where she was acting like she was on the phone. You guys saw this when she was on her airplane in front of the vice presidential seal. And so she goes, and so she goes, I'm going to Washington, D.C. to have a meeting with FEMA. Oh, yeah, that's good. Do you know where Donald Trump is? Check it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Highways and cars have been plunged underwater. Entire neighborhoods have been turned into lakes. Nobody's seen anything like it. And to every family that's been displaced here in Georgia and North Carolina, which has really been hit. We were going there also, and they don't have communication. They don't have anything right now. We're trying to. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that. And so we're working on that, getting them hooked up. They asked me whether or not that would be possible. And we're going to try and get the Starlink in there as soon as possible because they have no communication. And throughout the region, our hearts are with you, and we are going to be with you as long as you need. It's called an hour of need. You're in our prayers, and we pray to God. And throughout the long weeks that lay ahead, you're going to have a lot of work, but the end result is it's going to be good. We just wish so many people weren't so badly hurt, and in many cases, sadly, no longer with us. We love you.
So that's President Trump. Compare it to our current commander-in-chief.
Yes, it's tragic. As a matter of fact, we're trying to get the exact number. My FEMA advisor is on the ground in Florida right now. There's a distinction between the numbers that FEMA's used and the ones that are used by the locals. So it really is amazing. You saw the photographs. It's stunning.
It's unbelievable.
It really is.
Such a wide area.
And we've given them all everything that we have. We're on the ground ahead of time, so we're working hard.
Are there any more resources the federal government could be giving them?
No, we've given them, we have pre-planned a significant amount of it, even though they didn't ask for it yet. Hadn't asked for it yet.
Yeah, the audio is kind of bad there. I apologize. I don't know if you guys heard, but he essentially said that, is there any more money going to, from FEMA? No, we've already budgeted plenty of money. And like you said, Matt, a little while ago, Zelensky's getting billions more of your dollars. You see that destruction. I mean, you see, and Donald Trump's there on the ground, right? Donald Trump,
and you know where he was going. He's going to the beach.
Oh, Biden? Yeah, but he looked terrible. Totally confused.
Do you have the clip of him actually getting irritated when the press corps asked him earlier, where were you this week? Why, you were at the beach? And he looks around his shoulder and literally says, I was on the phone for 2 hours.
Yes, I think I do. I have that clip. I got to cue it up.
He says, I was commanding it.
Well, Kamala kicked reporters out of her FEMA meeting when they started asking her hard questions about the relief efforts and the lack thereof. She got frustrated and kicked him out.
Yeah. And guess who's on the ground? Donald Trump. Doing what a president should do.
Right.
Going where and Kamala was 20 minutes at the border wall the other day for a photo op and then right back in the plane.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
And did you guys see they arrested I think 14 illegal aliens that were taking advantage of storm victims? You can't make this up. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I mean, this is serious. And these people, whether it's Joe Biden or Kamala, I don't know who thinks they're in charge of the country, but do they not care, Matt? I mean, do they not care? I don't understand. I don't understand why more is not being done. This is the entire southeastern portion of the United States and all of Appalachia down to the panhandle of Florida. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that they don't. I mean, gosh, that's a tough question because I genuinely think that they're evil. And they watch this happen. And I mean, literally anytime anyone asks them a genuine question that could maybe help someone or is rooted in what are we going to do about this? Their response is how dare you ask us this question, which is really the way they've run the country for the last 3.5 years. So, I mean, I'm not shocked by it. It's what I expect from them. This is more of the same play. Allie?
No, I agree with you. The same people that literally locked up grandmas for praying at a Capitol or praying at an abortion clinic or going after moms for speaking about corrupt and illegitimate curriculum at school boards. And we're being told, how dare you question us? How dare you peasants come and speak to me? I'm not surprised. This is communism. We have been captured by communists. That's literally who is occupying our White House right now. That is who is running our government.
Oh, and the media is giving them all the cover in the world.
Absolutely, because that's their job.
Well, they're complicit. I mean, they're
yes, and they all should be locked up. And we all need to go out and vote early. Don't vote on yes, go vote anytime now between November 5th. Go vote. That's my birthday wish. My birthday is literally the day before the election day. Go vote. That's all I want.
November
Everybody
4th.
to go vote for Trump.
Everybody, Allie's birthday is November 4th. She'll take gifts. If you want to buy Allie a gift, you can go and buy a ticket to the Public Square Small Business Summit using promo code Pollock50 and get the ticket for $50. What would Allie's favorite birthday gift is when patriots activate and come together to save this country. That's what Allie wants for her birthday on November 4th. And she also wants everybody to know that November 4th is her birthday. She had to bring up that point. And so she wants you to remember that that's her birthday.
Remember that if communists are in our White House,
communists are in our White House, and Allie knew that saying her birthday, sharing her birthday, would sell at least 10 tickets. So that's why she did it. Yeah.
So
Not half, at least. At the very least.
She's getting so good at this that, like, it's better than me. I mean, one day you'll have me on your show. And, Puppet, what's your take?
With communists in the White House, you have to be at the Public Square event because it's the anti-World Economic Forum event.
That's exactly right.
Right. Yeah. And that's why, we got to get these commies out of our White House. We got to get us out of the World Economic Forum BS, and we got to put America first again so that we can take care of each other. Like what's going on out there, the president of our United States, the one that was elected is in Georgia. The one that wasn't elected is doing what he does best, sitting on the beach, doing nothing. And the one who's pretending to be the president, Kamala Harris, is doing
into an airplane.
Getting into an airplane, ignoring the media, pretending to take telephone calls, pretending to do the work of a real politician, the work of a real humanitarian, the work of someone who actually gets something accomplished and is just flying around taking photo ops.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And
you know what's interesting too about that, Puppet, that I wanted to mention that I forgot? Kamala can't decide if she's not responsible at all for all the failures of Joe Biden or she takes credit for anything that she pretends is good. Because now she's talking about, I'm going to FEMA and have a meeting. Ooh, that's going to be good. You should have a meeting, Madam Vice President. And now she's thinking like so now she has the ability to do something? So does she have the ability to do something or does she not? I don't understand. What is the value of her going to FEMA if Joe Biden is still running the country? I don't understand. Who is she? Why is she at the border? If she had control over the border for the last 4 years, why didn't she go to the border then? She's like 6 and 1/2 dozen the other. She's like, well, I'm president. When I'm president, I'll do things differently. But now that I'm running for president, I'm going to pretend that I could do things differently. It's confusing, isn't it?
It's not.
It's
never about the issue. It's always about control.
I mean, Allie, aren't you listening to this and be like, yeah, makes sense. Like, I expect this. I mean, but that was at the debate. I mean, I had a really hard time watching that debate with all the preloaded questions that Kamala got, or Vice President Kamala, however we refer to her on the show.
You can call her whatever you want because she doesn't deserve the title.
I'm going to not call her what I want because that's not appropriate.
Yes. Base pony soldier.
But, I mean, he literally said, let's stop this now. Go sign an executive order. Let's stop it now. Let's fix the border, sign an executive order. You have the power. And of course, nothing's happened. Crickets.
No.
They don't want to close the border.
It's never about the issue. With communist, socialist, Marxism, all of the socialist dictators, it's never about the issue. It's always about control and indoctrination.
Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of debates, and thanks for bringing that up, because I'm not going to get to talk about Lebanon. I'll just cover it very, very briefly for our audience. If you guys haven't, because I do want to talk about the debate super quick before we wrap. over the weekend, if you guys haven't been paying attention, Hassim Nasrallah, and if you guys don't know who that is, that was the leader of Hezbollah. But he wasn't just the leader of Hezbollah. He was the leader of all the groups that they call, quote unquote, the axis of resistance. So those are all of the militants in Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, in Palestine, in Gaza and West Bank. They're all coordinated through Nasrallah. Nasrallah was bigger than bin Laden. He's been in hiding. Israel's been trying to go after him for years. They got him in Beirut with a bomb.
Fantastic.
This was days after, if you remember, the pager explosions, I guess a week after. Israel, and we're going to talk about this next week, preview to next week's show. We actually have George Papadopoulos coming on as our special guest next week, because next week's show, October 7th, is the 1-year anniversary of that attack that kicked off this war. And Israel at this point, I mean, after being attacked by rockets from the north, attacked constantly from the Houthis in the south, I mean, they have been under an onslaught of Iranian-backed terror since October 7th and before. And Israel has decided, since the United States is weak in their leadership and are not doing anything but asking for a ceasefire, Israel's taking advantage of it just like Iran is taking advantage of it, and they're hitting back hard. I mean, they killed the #1 terrorist leader for them. I mean, that was their biggest target. That was their bin Laden. And then they didn't just get him. They got his #2. They also, and this is where it's going to be very interesting for people to watch, they also killed an IRGC general, an Iranian general in Lebanon. So, and Iran has vowed a vengeance. Now, the prime minister of, I think it was India, has called for a de-escalation. Biden is at the beach. Kamala is going to pretend to make a phone call. This is a very serious situation in the Middle East, and it has the opportunity to turn to a much larger conflict. North Korea has recently threatened the United States with nuclear weapons. I don't know if they have them or not, for our support of Ukraine. And China recently has beefed up their naval fleet around Taiwan. This is happening right now while our border is wide open, while we have Americans trapped in communities with no internet, and while we have Kamala pretending to care and Joe Biden have no idea where this is serious. Then you have the
Orange Man bad, David.
Orange Man bad. Then you have the longshoreman strike. I'm just giving you guys all the headlines of things that are going on because we can't cover them all. The longshoreman strike is going to put serious constraints on our food supply. This is all happening right now, a month before this election. If you haven't seen how important this next election is, look around. The world is teetering on collapse. The United States is operating like a third world country. Americans are suffering. Our food supply is being threatened. This isn't a political ad. This is happening. So I want to pivot to...
And FYI, none of this was going on under Trump.
None of it. None of it. And I'm sorry to go through all
years.
this tragic headlines for everybody, but we're almost out of time in the show, but I want you guys to know what's out there right now. You need to do some, because the media is not going to give it to you fair. So you need to know what's out there right now. You need to be paying attention to it. But I want to talk about the vice presidential debate super quick in the last minute or two of the show, because we have a big vice presidential debate tomorrow. Tim to the window, to the walls. He's going to, you like that? He's going to be debating JD Vance. I want to get your take, what you think's going to happen, whether or not you care. And I'll go to you first, Matt.
Well, Ice Cream Tim, he let Minneapolis burn. So really, since that, I really, I don't care what he has to say. What concerns me is that, just really quickly, is that this debate, just like the last one, is going to lack procedural fairness. The questions are going to be loaded. I'm just going to share this with the audience really quickly. I know we probably only have a minute, but are you guys all
as much time as we want? We have it's my show. We can go as long as you want. You're good.
Well, cool. Because this is really important. I mean, are you guys all aware that during the President Trump Kamala debate, that the topics that there was pre-negotiated, not only that she wouldn't be fact checked, that was known, and there were teams loaded for them to fact check President Trump. But not only that, but there were multiple topics that were off the table to be discussed.
Yeah.
One of them being the perceived health of Biden, no inquiries about her tenure as AG of San Francisco. So imagine applying for an interview, a job, which she is applying for a job, and say, you can't ask me about my last jobs because you're not allowed to. I don't want to share my record, where I locked up people and I was part of the problem. And then third, does anyone know the name Tony West? Because that is her brother-in-law, who is actually at the root. And there's a lot of embezzlement issues and things that the average person, try and find it online. It's deep down there. the left-wing communist media has done a really good job suppressing these stories. But my point is just going into this debate, make sure you watch it with eyes wide open, because all of these things that Trump had against him is going to be the same things are going to be stacked against JD Vance. And I'm sure he's going to handle it as the brilliant man, professional that he is. And he's going to absolutely destroy Ice Cream Tim. But I just want to make sure that the audience, I know they're a well-informed audience, knows about what President Trump was up against, and just be prepared to watch it with the correct, lenses on tomorrow, because it will be a very similar situation. And I think JD Vance is going to do a great job, even against very difficult odds and things being stacked against him.
No, yeah, I agree. Allie, what's your take?
No, I agree with that. Thank you, Matthew, for bringing all that up. It's really important that the audience understands that. And I agree with your sentiment with JD Vance. I think he's going to do a great job under those circumstances. I mean, he does a really good job against CNN, and CNN is really hard to kind of hold your fortitude a little bit and not kind of lash out at them when they're asking you ridiculous questions. And he handles himself pretty well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think Puppet. I'll get your take, and I'll give you mine.
Yeah, well, Tampon Timmy is gonna.
You show me yours, and I'll show you mine.
I don't have a ton to say. I'm just gonna say Tampon Timmy is gonna be playing with his Jimmy, and JD Vance is gonna mop the floor with him. That's my take. They can't fake it.
I think he's gonna be so flustered. He's not gonna know what to say, and that's what I expect out of Tampon Stolen Valor Tim. I can't stand it.
He's gonna be sweating to the oldies up there. I can tell you that.
I like everybody has a name for him. I think my anyway.
Does your name have something to do with a manhole?
No, I'm not talking about.
Okay.
I think he's going to do well tomorrow. I want to prepare the audience for that. He has rehearsed this folksy, connectable, relatable, Midwestern, average, blue-collar, white guy angle. Like, they have the videos of him fixing his engine, like changing his air filter for some reason, when it wasn't even dirty. They have all these staged things. He's going to go out there and basically sound, and this is what I'm sure what they're telling him, to just sound like a middle America blue collar guy who is on a teacher salary. That's what you need to do. You're not the governor, and it wouldn't even surprise me if he deviates from his experience as a governor, because he's going to want to seem just like Coach, right? Could you imagine being a governor of a state and somebody calls you Coach? You're like, excuse me, I'm a governor. No, Coach. They're trying to minimize his experience as governor because his record stinks, just like Kamala Harris's record stinks as vice president. But she's not Vice President Harris. They call her Kamala. And they do it on purpose so we mispronounce her name so they can call us racist. So everything they do, they try to make these people relatable. They stage the relatable. It's a lie. So everything he does tomorrow is just going to be very like, Americans are hurting. Let me speak to America. Being from middle America, let me speak to all Americans out there.
With no policy.
He's gonna say JD Vance with his Harvard education, his elite education. He's one of the elite. He's not one of us. When I was a teacher, I'm telling you, everything's gonna be painting JD Vance like an elitist Washington senator, and he's gonna be folksy Tim.
Like all the rest of them.
Right. No.
And that's what he's gonna do tomorrow. The forum, like you said, Matt, is gonna be favorable to him. They're gonna ask JD Vance question. I promise you they're gonna say, Senator Vance, you've said in the past that you couldn't stand President Trump, that all these terrible things about President Trump. Why would you serve as his vice president? Oh, well, I feel differently about him now. And then Tim will say something like, well, see, I've never changed my opinion, and this is why. So it's going to be a setup from the very beginning. It's going to be theater. It's not going to move the needle with anybody supporting him already. It's not going to move the needle with anybody supporting Trump.
It's just theater.
It's theater.
Just like you said. And he's going to walk away like the wounded little puppy because, the big bad JD Vance made me feel like a little tiny person. That's how that's going to go.
Because he is a tiny little
He is a turd.
Well, he's a coward.
Yeah, he's a coward.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll be talking about it. I'll be in a space tomorrow night.
I have no.
He's a turd, and Joe Biden's depends.
Yeah. So that's all. I don't even know what to say anymore at this point.
Where can everyone go to buy tickets to the small business?
We're going to talk about that.
Where there will be no cowards. There will be no cowards there.
No cowards.
I want to talk about Small Business Summit one more time before we wrap, because it's really important. And I really want to see you guys all there. And by the way, Q Boy for Life over on Pilled is dropping his cookies over there, so we appreciate it. This summit is really going to be fantastic, guys. If you haven't been to a political event before, if you haven't, or if you've gone and you've been maybe underwhelmed with it because it felt like, you know, you were just a general, and, you know, if you're just walking around and you're just part of an audience, this event is not going to be like that. This is going to be an interactive event with some of the biggest names in our movement. It's going to be intimate. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. And so many cool people are going to be there. Matt, one more time, go through the guest
Not
list.
Lencioni.
Yeah.
Donald
Trump Jr., RFK Jr., Puppet Carlson,
right.
Tucker Carlson,
That's
Donald
right.
Trump Jr., Michael Seifert, Russell Brand, Robbie Starbuck. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And David, to your point too, there's going to be great main stage, everything that I just referenced, but there's going to be breakout sessions with intimate conversations. There's going to be exhibitors there where you're going to actually be able to talk to small business owners and hear what's actually going on in their business and what they're challenged with and how they've overcome those challenges. So it's going to be an incredible event. You're going to leave full of hope. You're going to feel that there's tremendous opportunity, even though 2025 is going to be a difficult year, and you're going to be around like-minded, courageous patriots. And you're just going to have a really great time. And I can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, I'm really excited, guys. Remember, we'll keep it up for like maybe another hour. For the people who are watching this a little behind, Pollock 50, Pollock 50, POLLACK 50, $50 tickets. That's for both days total, guys. You will never go to an event like this.
You will never go to a political event like this ever for $50. Not ever.
Allie,
Your
how much
drinks are
money-
$50.
How much money are those tickets to see Tucker in the tour?
Our VIP tickets were like over $1,000.
Yeah,
They were like $1,600.
right. This is an incredible opportunity to go and see Tucker, see Russell Brand, see RFK Jr., see Don Jr. I mean, if you guys are not using promo code Pollock50 and buying a $50 ticket to this 2-day event in Orlando, Florida, and by the way, the rooms at that hotel where the event is going to be at the Rosen Center, Shingle Creek, which one is it?
Shingle Creek.
Shingle
Yep.
Creek. At Shingle Creek, I think I got a room for like $140 with the group.
Yeah,
rate.
they're pretty nice.
It's like the most affordable event. I can't tell you how excited I am about it. And I'm telling you guys, you need to go to this event. I'm going to be there. Puppet's going to be there. Allie's going to be there. Heather's going to be there. All of our friends are going to be there. Chad Caton's going to be there. Who else is going to be there?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be
a lot of fun.
It's going to be ridiculous. And
people are going to be talking about this event and be like, remember the first public square event? We were all there. And you're going to be one of those people that were either there and experience it or not. And you're going to be kicking yourself for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
The entire Rumble team is going to be there. The Sticker Mule team, Anthony, who's really stood up, recently, is going to be there. Our page 3 is a page 1 for many events. So it's going to be great.
It's going to be amazing. And by the way, you mentioned the exhibitors. There's going to be a lot of great exhibitors there. Raised Right Books, one of our sponsors, they'll be there exhibiting. We the Studios, stay tuned on that. They're going to be there exhibiting.
Coming.
Yeah. So there's going to be so many people there exhibiting. And I think they're still exhibiting. Is there still a space for exhibitors?
Yeah, we're locking that down in the next, 2 days. So if you're interested, David, maybe you could put a link to my email address or whatever. And we can still get some exhibitors in there, but our exhibitor spots are pretty sold out.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to be an exhibitor, I might even have a promo code for you for that. So make sure you reach out to me, go DM me if you're on X or if you're on one of these platforms. You can email me, David at the David Pollock Show, and I'll connect you and we can get you a booth there too. Guys, I'm telling you, this is going to be a great event. That's why I'm so excited to have you here, Matt, because once you and I started talking about this event, I was like, man, we have to get everybody here because it's going to be epic. I can't wait. I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to see Allie there. Unfortunately, I'm going to bring Puppet and,
You already emailed me and asked for extra drink tickets. I know what's going on.
Yeah,
that's right. I get the hookup from Matthew. That's right.
We're gonna
Yeah,
celebrate my
I'm gonna-
birthday 2 weeks early. It'll be great.
We are gonna celebrate your birthday.
Birthday again. Do you want us to just sing to you now?
No,
Is-
don't.
you
I'm
know-
just messing with you guys.
Oh, sure. With women, they always have like the birthday week, sometimes the birthday month. You're just going for a birthday quarter of the year at this point, are we?
David, you got me my own room, right?
You got a trunk. I got you.
No,
a
I mean
trunk.
like in a different room than you. I can't sleep in the same room with you.
What why would you think
Why are we having this conversation?
that I'm sharing a room with you?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sharing a room with you.
Anyway, guys, go to publicsquare.com. What the heck? I'll tell you, there is one positive. If Puppet was sharing a room with me, he's made of the patented My Pillow Phil. So I can fluff him up. And
This is why I'm not sharing a room with him, guys.
And I can guarantee.
This is the problem.
I can guarantee that no matter what kind of pillows that beautiful resort has, I will sleep well. And if you want to sleep well too, you can go to mypillow.com, promo code Pollock, save up to 80% site wide if you want to sleep like you're sleeping on a puppet. So,
Allie, you can sleep on me if you want. It's your birthday.
My.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Go to Pollock, go buy your tickets. Pollock $50 tickets. Matt, thank you for being here. Allie, thank you for being here. Puppet,
Always. I enjoy it.
And
nice to meet you, Matthew.
Nice to meet you, Allie. Thank you for having me, David. Thank you for having us, Puppets.
Thank
We
you,
all know
Matthew. We'll be at the event.
And I'm going to leave you guys with this little ditty. And this is how I'm going to send you off.
No
Good night,
ditty.
everybody. Yeah, ditty.
The fleece stops here, folks.
It does. It does.